Indiana is more than cornfields and country roads. It has a major city, Indianapolis, where crime has exploded. Some of the crime, although a much lower percentage, is committed by the women in the state. What do you know about the 3 women's state prisons? Let's take a look. The history of female prisons begins in Indiana, but let's first take a look at some data about women incarceration and crime in Indiana. Since 1978, the number of women in Indiana's prisons went from 121 to over 2,400 in 2017. There are over 30,000 adults in Indiana prisons. Women make up almost 8%. They also now account for 1 in 4 jail admissions. Indianapolis, the largest city and state capital, could be considered a dangerous city compared to other metropolitans that are of similar size. In 2020, the violent crime rate in Indianapolis was 446 crimes committed per 100,000 people. Other similar-sized metro areas are much lower. Portland, Oregon is 302. Pittsburgh is 226, while Sacramento is closer to Indianapolis at 375. We can deduce that some of the perpetrators of this crime will be women. As reported earlier, Indiana has 3 facilities that exclusively hold women: Indiana Women's Prison, Rockville Correctional Facility, and Madison Correctional Facility. We will take a look at each facility, starting with the highest security level, Indiana Women's Prison. The first women's prison in the United States was built on the east side of Indianapolis, near the historic neighborhood of Woodruff Place. Established in 1873, previously women were housed in male facilities, leading to substantial abuse. The first warden of Indiana Women's Prison, Sarah Smith, was also the first female warden of any prison. The first inmate at the facility was mass murderer Sally Hubbard. She and her husband killed 7 members of a family in Wabash, Indiana. Her husband was hanged in 1855. 4 women have been sentenced to death in Indiana, none of which have been executed. The facility moved to an existing prison in 2009 on the west side of Indianapolis. Due to the age of the original facility, it is currently being demolished. The current facility has a capacity of over 600 inmates and has a maternal unit, which allows mothers to stay with their child after birth. A notable inmate at the facility was Paula Cooper. She was convicted of murdering an elderly neighbor in 1986. At 15 years old, she was sentenced to death. In 1989, through intervention by the Pope, her death sentence was commuted to life in prison. Montserrat Shirley, currently located at the facility, was sentenced to 50 years in prison for conspiracy to commit arson. She was involved in an intentional explosion of her home for insurance money. This caused the death of 2 of her neighbors. The history of Indiana Women's Prison alone makes it an interesting place. This prison holds the most dangerous women in the state. Our next prison, Rockville Correctional Facility, is located in the rural western part of the state on 52 acres. It has a capacity of over 1,200 offenders. Sarah Jo Pender escaped from the facility in 2008 with the help of a correctional officer. She was convicted of a double murder in 2000 and sentenced to 110 years. Pender was caught in Chicago after being featured on America's Most Wanted. She is currently housed at the facility. Another notable inmate, Amber Portwood from MTV's Teen Mom, served 17 months at the facility on a domestic violence case. She was released in 2013. On a strange note, a former correctional officer at the prison, Stephen Kazmierczak, was responsible for a mass shooting at Northern Illinois University. He was employed at the facility for 4 months. Although not as secure as the Indiana Women's Prison, Rockville is a larger facility with many dangerous inmates. The last facility we will briefly touch on is Madison Correctional Facility. This is a minimum security facility in southern Indiana next to the beautiful Clifty Falls State Park and scenic river town of Madison. The facility houses over 900 inmates with approximately 200 staff. Due to its lower security status, the facilities focus on successful re-entry into the community with various vocational and educational programs. We have now explored the 3 female prisons in Indiana. From the historic Indiana Women's Prison to the low-security Madison Correctional Facility, these house the female criminal offenders of Indiana. If you enjoy this content, like and subscribe. Also, click the playlist here for more prison profiles. See you next time.